are a donkey.
It's time for Donkey of the Day.
Donkey of the Day, huh? I'm gonna fatten all that shit around your eye.
They want this man to throw them blows, man. They waiting for Charlamagne to tap these gloves. Let's go.
They had to make a judgment of who was going to be on the Donkey of the Day. They chose you.
It's the Breakfast Club, bitches.
Who's Donkey of the Day today?
Donkey of the Day for Tuesday, August 25th goes to former UN ambassador and governor of my home, the great state of South Carolina. Her name is Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley spoke at the Republican National Convention last night and had this to say.
America is not a racist country. This is personal for me. I am the proud daughter of Indian immigrants. They came to America and settled in a small southern town. My father wore a turban. My mother wore a sari. I was a brown girl in a black and white world. We faced discrimination and hardship, but my parents never gave in to grievance and hate.
What happened now? When you hear things like that, you feel like you're at the Jamaican restaurant ordering a goat oxtail combo and they tell you they have no more goat or oxtail. You're like, excuse me, there's no what? Well, can I get a beef patty? We have no more patties either. There's no what? There's no goat, no oxtail, no beef patty. Well, what am I here for? Okay, some things are expected, some things are staples, and what oxtail and goat are to a Jamaican restaurant, racism is to America. And just like I'm disappointed when the Jamaican restaurant tells me they have none of those things, I'm disappointed to hear Nikki Haley try to tell me America don't have no racism. Okay, America was built on racism. The very foundation of this country is racist. Okay, stop. I'm not even gonna get into that. I'm not even doing. Why are we even entertaining this conversation? At least when the Jamaican spot tells us they don't got goat, they really don't have no goat. Nikki Haley is acting like America, doesn't have a white supremacist ideology. Like there's not racism in policing, discrimination everywhere, and segregation still in everyday American life. We just watched a black man, Jacob Blake, get shot several times in the back in front of his kids in Wisconsin for just attempting to get in his car. So stop it, Nikki Haley. Okay? Nikki Haley said out her own mouth that her and her family experienced discrimination for being Indian. Okay, what do you think that discrimination was, Nikki? Okay, where do you think that discrimination stemmed from? You said you a brown girl who grew up in a black and white world. You said your family faced discrimination and hardship, but you got the nerve to start off that statement saying racism doesn't exist? Nikki Haley, do you remember when you removed the Confederate flag off the State House lawn in South Carolina back in 2015 after years and years of black people in Columbia protesting to take that flag down? My whole life, brothers and sisters were protesting to take that flag down in Columbia, South Carolina. Salute to the 803. Do you remember one of the reasons you said you took that flag down? Because I do. You said, and I quote, I even read it this morning on CNN just to make sure. I got this quote directly from CNN. You said the national conversation about being viewed differently because of your ethnicity forced you, Nikki, to reflect on your days growing up as a minority in a small town in South Carolina. You said one day your father drove to Columbia to buy produce at a fruit stand when two police officers were called to the stand to keep their eyes on your father. Those were your words, Nikki Haley. You said the officers just stood at the register until your father made his purchase. You said, Nikki Haley, and I quote, because I'm quoting you, I remember how bad that felt. And my dad went to the register, shook their hands, said thank you, paid for his things, and not a word was said going home. I knew what had just happened. Nikki Haley said, that produce stand is still there, and every time I drive by it, I still feel that pain. I realized that Confederate flag was the same pain that so many people were feeling, end quote. Nikki Haley, that's racism. That's discrimination. That's bigotry, okay? Now, see, this is the equivalent of being at the Jamaican restaurant and them telling you there is no goat or no oxtail, and I can literally see the slabs of oxtail and goat in the back. All right, you're handing out plates of oxtail and goat to everybody but me, but telling me there is none. Nikki, knock it off, okay? Not to mention you contradicted yourself last night quite a few times because you even know why the flag came down. Because a white supremacist named Dylan Roof shot 9 beautiful black souls in AME. You spoke about Emmanuel AME in downtown Charleston. You spoke about it last night. Listen.
It doesn't have to be like this. It wasn't like this in South Carolina 5 years ago. Our state came face to face with evil. A white supremacist walked into Mother Emanuel Church during Bible study, 12 African Americans, pulled up a chair, and prayed with him for an hour. Then he began to shoot. After that horrific tragedy, we didn't turn against each other. We came together, black and white, Democrat and Republican. Together, we made the hard choices needed to heal and removed a divisive symbol peacefully and respectfully.
Out of your own mouth, you referred to Dylan Roof as a white supremacist. Now, Nikki Haley, I'm not the highest grade of weed in the dispensary. Okay, I graduated from night school in Moncks Corner, South Carolina, 2 years past schedule. I was supposed to graduate in 1996, graduated in 1998 from night school. Nikki, you know that South Carolina is ranked 44 out of 50 states when it comes to education, so you know I'm not the brightest, but I can Google. And just to make sure I was accurate on my definition of white supremacy, I Googled it this morning, and the definition of white supremacy is the racist belief that white people are superior to those of other races. I repeat, the definition of white supremacy is the racist belief that white people are superior to those of other races. You referred to Dylan Roof as a white supremacist, so you know what white supremacy is. You know it's a racist belief. So why the hell are you saying that the racism doesn't exist in America, Nikki? I don't know what you were trying to say last night. I am not the white whisperer. Maybe she meant to say all Americans aren't racist, which is true, okay? But the system of America, the systems that exist in America are all inherently racist, period, poo. Okay, what I'm trying to tell you, Nikki Haley, is there is oxtail and goat in that kitchen. And you are lying to me, telling me that there is no oxtail and goat in that kitchen. Now, there was a man who spoke at the RNC last night after you, Nikki. His name was Donald Trump Jr. I don't care whose son he is. I don't care which side of the aisle he's on, because I'm on no side. I don't care if Twitter says he was allegedly coked out of his mind. I don't care if he was talking out of both sides of his mouth. I don't care if he even believed what he said, because if a broken clock can be right twice a day, so could a person high off cocaine, all right? Allegedly. Some of my greatest life lessons came to me from the mouths of crackheads right there in South Carolina, Nikki. So I would never dismiss someone's words because they were allegedly high off cocaine. Listen to what Donald Trump Jr. said last night in regards to racism and policing.
All men and women are created equal and must be treated equally under the law. That's why we must put an end to racism, and we must ensure that any police officer who abuses their powers is held accountable. What happened to George Floyd is a disgrace, and if you know a police officer, you know they agree with that too.
That right there should be chopped up and running in an ad for Biden, for a Biden-Harris commercial today. Play it again, damn it.
All men and women are created equal and must be treated equally under the law. That's why we must put an end to racism, and we must ensure that any police officer who abuses their powers is held accountable. What happened to George Floyd is a disgrace, and if you know a police officer, you know they agree with that too.
We must put an end to racism, and police who abuse their power should be held accountable. God damn it, Donald Trump Jr. didn't even agree with you, Nikki Haley, okay? How Donald Trump Jr. allegedly high off cocaine correct on something and you're not? Give me my damn oxtail and goat, because I see it back there. I know you got it. Please let Remy Ma give Nikki Haley the biggest hee-haw.
Hee-haw, hee-haw. You stupid motherfucker. Are you dumb?
All right. Well, thank you for that donkey today.
Donkey Today is brought to you by the law office of Michael S. Lamonsoff. Don't be a donkey. Dial pound 250 on your cell and say the bull if you've been hurt in a construction accident. That's pound 250 from your cell and say the bull.